The Truth Commission staff categorise human rights violations under different headings: severe assault, torture, necklacing, death in detention. But the most disturbing is disappearance. The name Stanza Bopape was filed under this heading.
Ka gore ha ke tsebe le maile ena ke tsebe le mo re ngo felitse kae ka mokgwa ba bolelang ka gona di story tse ba di bolelang ha ke di kgolo.
We're together at the University of the North. We were doing law together. As I remember him, he was a very gentle person, a very caring person, and he was very committed. He was a very committed activist. He was committed to the struggle for liberation. And that's how I remember him, as a very honest and committed activist.
On the 9th of June 1988, the 27-year-old Bopape was detained by security police and interrogated at John Foster Square. The official police version, also that given by then Police Minister Adrian Vlok, is that around midnight on June 11, Bopape was taken to Vereniging. The car had a puncture on the way. The three policemen then started changing the wheel. Bopape, in handcuffs and leg irons, somehow got hold of the keys to his shackles, unlocked himself, got out of the car and ran into the veld. One policeman shot at him but missed. He simply disappeared. Vlok told Parliament Bopape was afterwards seen at an ANC terrorist attack.
Fink and my father were working together till they meet the former Minister of Law and Order, Mr. Vlok, just to find out exactly what happened to him. And Vlok referred them to Johan van der Merwe, who was then the Commissioner of Police. So the two guys says maybe he might have fled to exile somewhere in Lusaka. So my father planned he and Mr. Fink they've gone to Lusaka to go and search for him, and finally everything all in vain.
3 days after the so-called escape, police told the family lawyer that Bopape was still in detention. 3 weeks later, they said he had escaped.
We just had it through the press because the police didn't even come to let us know that. Anyway, we have to know that Stanza is arrested. They didn't even inform us, you see. So we just had it through the newspaper, and so it was shocking to us. It became even very sad. Because, and even now, what makes us that maybe he might be dead is that the police didn't even come again at my home just to find out where he is, because they just claim he's disappeared, and that was all. Because before then, they've been coming to search for him. But since they claim that he's disappeared, they never come to my place. So it means they know what they've done to him.
In the police occurrence book at John Foster Square, Warrant Officer Mostert is one of the people who took Stanza out for the investigation where it was alleged that during which it was alleged that he escaped. We can only infer that those were the people that were actually involved with this interrogation and who would perhaps know what actually happened and be able to give more light as to what happened. The only thing that we can do at this point, of course, is to just draw inferences. We look at the entries in the occurrence book at John Foster Square for the night in which Stanza allegedly escaped from custody, and we have the names of the policemen there who took him out on that investigation, and a later entry in that occurrence book at about 5:05 in the morning says Stanza escaped near Didier whilst they were out on an investigation. And the entry there is made by this warrant officer Mostert, then we can only assume that the people who would be able to give us more light with regard to this thing is warrant officer Mostert and his colleagues.
But the real story seems to be much, much simpler.
Tell me about Stanza Bopape. The first thing that happened to me was I was put under a lot of pressure by some of my agents about what happened to Stanza Bopape, and I had to fend this off because I'd never heard of the guy, I'd never seen him. And it was only later that actually at an informal gathering of security policemen that the true story came out that he somehow, and I understand he was picked up in Pretoria, but he was brought through to John Foster Square, and during interrogation, physical interrogation, he died and his body was disposed of down a disused mine shaft.
A day after Erasmus told me this, I asked the then Commissioner General Johan van der Merwe for his reaction.
Ek kan dit onomwonde sê. Ek is nie bewus van een moord wat plaasgevind het terwyl ek kommissaris was, of selfs voor die tyd. Is ek nie bewus van een moord wat plaasgevind het rondom dit wie vir so 'n moord verantwoordelik is nie.
Lorwa musisekai. Wampena ke moluki. Lele marapo luki.